Alhamdulillah, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Let me ask you something honestly. How many nights have you lost sleep thinking about someone who barely thinks about you? How many times has your heart felt heavy, not because of what happened, but because of what you kept replaying in your mind? Subhanallah, the more you think, the more it hurts. The more you analyze, the more confused you become. And here is the dangerous part. While you are overthinking people, you are slowly distancing yourself from Allah. If you don't protect your heart now, you may lose your peace, your focus, and even your connection with your Creator. But if you learn this one powerful shift today, you will free your heart, regain your strength, and find a peace that no human being can ever give you. Allah reminds us, and whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. Your heart was not created to be attached to people in a way that controls your emotions. It was created to be connected to Allah. When you depend too much on people, you will always be disappointed. But when you depend on Allah, you will always find peace. You sit quietly, but your mind is anything but quiet. One small interaction replays again and again. What did they mean by that? Why did they say it like that? Did I do something wrong? Could I have responded better? And before you realize it, minutes turn into hours, and hours turn into sleepless nights. Your heart feels heavy, your chest feels tight, and all of this over thoughts that may not even be true. This is the reality of overthinking people. It starts small, almost harmless, but it grows quickly. You begin analyzing every word, every message, every silence. You try to read between the lines, searching for meanings that may not even exist. And the more you think, the deeper you fall into confusion. Because overthinking does not bring clarity, it brings exhaustion. What makes it even more difficult is that you convince yourself that you are trying to understand, trying to fix things, trying to protect yourself, but in reality, you are draining yourself emotionally. You are giving your mental energy to something that is not in your control. And slowly, without realizing it, you are allowing someone else to occupy your thoughts more than they deserve. This constant mental engagement affects your daily life. You may be physically present with your family, at work, or in Arabic teen, Arabic ba, Arabic kalif, Arabic dal, Arabic letter 6C1. But your mind is elsewhere. You lose focus. Your productivity drops. Even your Arabicain, Arabic pa, Arabic kalif, Arabic tal, Arabic kalif, Arabic tal begin to feel distracted because your heart is busy processing something else. Instead of feeling peace, you carry tension throughout your day. And here is the deeper issue. When your mind is filled with thoughts about people, it leaves little space for the remembrance of Allah. Your heart, which was created to be connected to your Creator, becomes occupied with creation instead. This imbalance is what leads to that emptiness you feel. Because no matter how much you think about people, you will never find the peace that comes from remembering Allah. The truth is, not every situation needs to be analyzed. Not every action needs to be understood. Sometimes people behave in ways you will never fully comprehend, and that is okay. You are not responsible for decoding every person's intentions. That knowledge belongs to Allah alone. So what can you do when these thoughts come? The first step is awareness. Recognize when you are overthinking. Notice the pattern, and then gently interrupt it. Instead of continuing the cycle, pause and remind yourself, Allah knows the truth, and that is enough for me. This simple shift changes your perspective. It reminds you that you do not need to carry the burden of figuring everything out. You can release it to Allah, who knows what is hidden and what is apparent. Another practical step is to redirect your focus. When you catch yourself overthinking, replace that moment with something beneficial. Make Dhikr even quietly. Say Subhan Allah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Engage your tongue so your mind begins to settle. Or shift your attention to something productive, something that benefits your dunya or your akhirah. It will not happen instantly. Your mind may try to go back to those thoughts again and again. But each time you bring it back, you are training your heart to let go. You are teaching yourself that not every thought deserves your attention. And slowly, you will begin to feel lighter. The same situations that once consumed your mind will no longer have the same power over you. Because now, you are choosing peace over pressure. You are choosing trust over confusion. And most importantly, you are choosing to protect your heart. There is a quiet expectation you carry in your heart that people will notice you, understand you, appreciate you, and treat you the way you deserve. You may not always say it out loud, but deep inside, you hope that someone will recognize your efforts, your sincerity, your sacrifices. And when that doesn't happen, when people overlook you or fail to respond the way you hoped, it leaves a pain that is hard to explain. You start questioning yourself. Am I not good enough? Did I do something wrong? Why don't they see my worth? These thoughts slowly chip away at your confidence. You begin to measure your value based on how others treat you. If they praise you, you feel good. If they ignore you, you feel small. Without realizing it, your emotional state becomes dependent on people who are just as limited and imperfect as you are. This is where the problem begins. When you seek validation from people, you are placing your Arabic kaf, Arabic lam, Arabic ba in a very unstable place. People change. Their moods change, their priorities change, their attention shifts. One day they may appreciate you, and the next day they may not even notice you. If your sense of worth is tied to them, then your peace will always be temporary. And the truth is, no human being can fully give you the validation your heart is searching for. Because your heart was not created to be satisfied by people, it was created to be connected to Allah. Allah sees what people do not see. He knows the intentions behind your actions, the struggles you hide, the effort you put in when no one is watching. Every small act you do, every patience you show, every time you hold back for His sake, Allah is fully aware of it. Nothing goes unnoticed with Him. But when you focus too much on people's opinions, you begin to forget this reality. You start performing for Arabic Alif, Arabic Lam, Arabic Noon, Arabic Alif, Arabic Sin, instead of living for Allah. You adjust your actions based on what others will think, not on what will please your Creator. And this creates an internal conflict. Because even if people are pleased with you, your heart still feels unsettled. Real peace comes when you shift your focus. When your goal is no longer to impress people, but to please Allah. When you remind yourself that His approval is enough, even if the whole world misunderstands you. Imagine the freedom in that. You do good not because you expect praise, but because you know Allah sees you. You remain patient not because people will acknowledge it, but because you trust that Allah will reward it. You carry yourself with dignity, knowing that your worth is already defined by your relationship with your Creator, not by the opinions of creation. A simple habit can help you build this mindset. At the start of your day, set your intention clearly. Ya Allah, I do this for you alone. And throughout the day, whenever you feel that need for validation rising, pause and remind yourself, Allah sees me, that is enough. Over time, this will strengthen your heart. You will become less affected by Arabic Alif, Arabic Leaf, Arabic Leaf, Arabic Leaf, Arabic Sin, and more connected to Allah. Praise will not make you arrogant, and criticism will not break you. Because your foundation is no longer built on people, is built on your relationship with the one who never changes. And when you reach that point, you will realize something beautiful. The validation you were chasing from people was already with Allah all along. It often begins with something beautiful. You care about someone, you value them, you enjoy their presence, and slowly, without even realizing it, your heart starts to lean more and more toward them. You begin to rely on their words to feel better, their attention to feel important, their presence to feel complete. At first, it feels comforting. It feels natural. But over time, that attachment quietly grows into something deeper, something heavier. You start thinking about them more than you should. Their mood affects your mood. Their distance feels like rejection. Their silence feels like something is wrong. And suddenly, your emotional state is no longer stable, it depends on them. If they are good with you, you feel at peace. If they change, pull away, or respond differently, your heart begins to feel unsettled. This is the reality of becoming too attached to people. It creates a dependency that was never meant to exist. Because no matter how good someone is, no matter how close they are to you, they are still human. They have their own struggles, their own limitations, their own transformations. They cannot be constant. And when you expect them to be constant, you set yourself up for disappointment. The pain does not always come from what they did. Sometimes it comes from what you expected them to be. You expected consistency, but they changed. You expected understanding, but they fell short. You expected them to fill a space in your heart that only Allah can truly fill. And when that space remains empty, it hurts. Islam does not tell you to stop loving people. It does not ask you to disconnect from others or avoid relationships. But it teaches you balance. It teaches you to care without losing yourself, to love without becoming dependent, and to give without expecting perfection in return. The heart is something very delicate. It attaches easily, and when it attaches too deeply to the wrong place, it becomes vulnerable. That is why Islam constantly reminds us to anchor our hearts in Allah first. When your connection with Allah is strong, your relationships with people become healthier. You love them, but you do not rely on them for your peace. You care for them, but you do not lose your stability if they change. A practical way to build this balance is to check your heart regularly. Ask yourself honestly, if this person steps back, will I completely break? If the answer is yes, then it is a sign that your attachment has gone too far. It is a reminder to gently pull your heart back and reconnect it to Allah. You can also begin to shift your emotional dependence. When something good happens, thank Allah before sharing it with anyone else. When something hurts you, turn to Allah first before seeking comfort from people. This does not mean you isolate yourself, but it means your first connection, your first reliance is always with your Creator. And slowly you will notice a change. Your relationships will feel lighter, healthier, more peaceful. You will still love, but without fear. You will still care, but without anxiety, because your heart is no longer hanging on to people, it is anchored in Allah. And when your heart is anchored in Allah, even if people disappoint you, it will not break you, because you were never depending on them to begin with. You keep showing up for others, giving your time, your energy, your attention, even when you feel drained inside. You say yes when you want to say no. You stay in conversations that exhaust you. You tolerate behavior that disturbs your peace, all because you don't want to upset anyone or be misunderstood. On the outside, it may look like kindness, but inside, something feels off. You feel overwhelmed, tired, and slowly disconnected from yourself. This is what happens when you neglect your own peace for the sake of others. Many people believe that being a good person means always being available, always being accommodating, always putting others first no matter the cost. But Islam teaches balance. Yes, we are encouraged to be kind, patient, and generous. But we are not asked to destroy ourselves in the process. Your well-being matters, your heart matters, and protecting it is not selfish, it is necessary. When you constantly ignore your own emotional limits, the impact builds over time. You begin to feel resentment even if you don't express it. Small things start to bother you more than they should. Your patience decreases. You feel emotionally exhausted, yet you continue the same patterns because you think that's what is expected of you. And then it starts affecting your relationship with Allah. You find it harder to focus in your salah because your mind is overloaded. You feel less present in your Arabic teen, Arabic ba, Arabic alif, Arabic tal, Arabic alif, Arabic tal, Arabic alif, Arabic tal, because your energy has been drained by people. Instead of Arabic teen, Arabic ba, Arabic alif, Arabic tal, Arabic letter 61, bringing you peace, you struggle to even feel present. All because your heart has been stretched too thin. The reality is, you cannot pour into others if you are empty yourself. You cannot give peace if you do not have peace within you. This is why protecting your emotional and mental well-being is actually part of preserving your ability to worship Allah sincerely. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away. It is about knowing your limits and respecting them. It is about recognizing what harms your peace and having the courage to step back when needed. Not every conversation needs your response. Not every situation needs your involvement. And not every person deserves unlimited access to your time and energy. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is a gentle no. Sometimes the most beneficial thing you can do is take a step back and give yourself space to breathe. This does not make you a bad person. It makes you aware. It shows that you understand the value of your Arabic kaf, Arabic lam, Arabic ba, and the responsibility you have to protect it. Start small. Notice the moments when you feel drained after interacting with certain situations or people. Pay attention to what affects your peace. Then slowly begin to adjust. Limit what needs to be limited. create space where it is needed. And most importantly, reconnect that space with something beneficial like dhikr, dua, or simply quiet reflection. Over time, you will begin to feel a difference. Your energy will return. Your heart will feel lighter. Your Arabic teen, Arabic pa, Arabic alif, Arabic tal, Arabic alif, Arabic tal will become more focused. Because now you are no longer giving from emptiness. You are giving from a place of balance, and when you protect your peace for the sake of Allah, it becomes an act of worship, because you are preserving the Arabic kaf, Arabic lam, Arabic ba that was created to remember Him. You keep asking yourself why. Why did they do that? Why did things turn out this way? Why didn't it work even though you tried so hard? Your mind keeps searching for answers, trying to make sense of every detail, trying to connect every dot. You replay situations, analyze outcomes, and attempt to predict what could have been done differently. And the more you think, the more restless you feel. This constant need to understand everything can quietly turn into a burden, because not everything in life is meant to be fully understood. Some things are beyond your knowledge, beyond your control, and beyond your ability to fix. Yet when you try to force answers where there are none, you create confusion within yourself. Your heart becomes unsettled, your thoughts become heavy, and your peace begins to slip away. At the root of this struggle is something deeper, the illusion that you are in control of everything. You plan, you organize, you try your best to manage outcomes, and that is good. Islam encourages effort. But the problem begins when your heart becomes attached not just to the effort, but to the result. When things don't go according to your expectations, it shakes you. It makes you question, worry, and overthink. This is where we often forget a powerful truth. Allah is in control of all affairs. Nothing happens without His knowledge. Nothing unfolds without His permission. Every situation, every delay, every outcome carries wisdom, even if you cannot see it immediately. When this understanding is missing, you carry a weight that does not belong to you. You carry the burden of outcomes. You feel responsible for things that were never in your hands to begin with. And that is what creates stress. Because deep down, your heart knows you are limited, but your mind keeps trying to act as if you are not. Tawakkul changes this completely. It does not mean you stop trying. It means you do your part sincerely, and then you release the rest to Allah. You accept that your role is effort and Allah's role is outcome. And when you truly internalize this, something begins to shift inside you. You start to feel lighter, not because your problems disappear, but because you are no longer carrying them alone. You still plan, you still work, but your heart is calm. Because you know that whatever happens is written, and whatever is written is for a reason, even if you do not understand it right now. A simple way to build this mindset is to remind yourself daily, what is meant for me will never miss me, and what misses me was never meant for me. These words are not just comforting, they are grounding. They bring your heart back to reality. They remind you that your Arabic rat, Arabic sain, Arabic kataf, your relationships, your opportunities are all in Allah's hands. When something does not go your way, instead of asking why, try saying Kadar Allahu Wama, Arabic Shin, Arabic Alif, Arabic Aneza, Arabic Fa, Arabic Ane, Arabic Lamala has decreed, and He does what He wills. This does not mean you ignore your feelings, but it helps you place your trust where it belongs. And over time, you will notice a change. Situations that once caused you stress will no longer shake you as deeply. Uncertainty will feel easier to handle, because your heart is no longer trying to control everything, it is learning to trust. Tawakkul does not remove questions from your mind, but it removes the Arabic alif, Arabic tada, Arabic tada, Arabic rat, 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 Arabic tada. It replaces confusion with acceptance, worry with reliance, and fear with a quiet, steady peace. You keep thinking that if you just understand it more, it will hurt less. So you replay the situation again and again. You go over the words, the tone, the silence, the small details that most people would forget. You tell yourself you're trying to find closure, trying to make sense of it, trying to heal. But instead of healing, the pain feels like it is growing. The more you think, the deeper it settles in your heart. This is the trap many people fall into. They believe that overthinking is a way to solve emotional pain. But in reality, it often does the opposite. It keeps the wound open. It keeps the moment alive long after it has passed. Instead of moving forward, you stay stuck in the same place, carrying the same feelings day after day. The heart does not heal through constant analysis. It heals through connection with Allah, with truth, with something greater than the situation itself. When you keep turning back to the same thoughts, you are feeding the pain. You are giving it attention, energy, and space to grow. And slowly it begins to take over your emotional state. You might notice how it affects you throughout the day. You become quieter, more withdrawn. Your mood shifts without clear reason. Small things begin to irritate you. Even in moments that should feel peaceful, your mind drifts back to that same issue. It's as if your heart is trying to move on, but your thoughts keep pulling it back. And this is where a powerful shift needs to happen. Instead of trying to think your way out of pain, you need to turn your heart toward healing. And true healing comes from Allah. Allah is Ash-Shafi, the one who heals. Not just physical wounds, but emotional ones, the ones that no one else sees. When you bring your pain to Him, you are not just expressing your feelings, you are placing them in the care of the one who understands them completely. Start by creating a new response to those thoughts. When they come, instead of engaging with them, gently redirect yourself. Say, Ya Allah, heal my heart. Even if you don't feel an immediate change, continue. Because healing is not always instant, but it is always possible. Replace those moments of overthinking with Dhikr. Let your tongue move even if your heart feels heavy. Say Subhan Allah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. These words carry a weight that your heart needs. They slowly begin to soften what feels hard inside you. You can also turn to the Quran, even if it is just a few verses. The Quran has a way of reaching places in your heart that nothing else can reach. It brings a sense of calm that thinking alone can never provide. Another important step is to accept that not everything will have a clear explanation. Some Arabic alif, Arabic lam, Arabic hamzata, hatalif, Arabic mim, Arabic wa, Arabic ra will remain unanswered. And that is part of life. When you accept this, you release yourself from the pressure of needing to understand everything in order to move on. And slowly, you will begin to notice that the pain does not control you the way it once did. The thoughts may still come, but they will not stay as long. They will not feel as heavy. Because now, you are not feeding them, you are replacing them with something better. Healing is not about forgetting what happened. It is about no longer being affected by it in the same way. It is about finding a place of peace within yourself, even when the past remains unchanged. And that peace begins the moment you stop searching for answers in your thoughts and start seeking healing from Allah. Listen carefully. You don't need to understand everyone. You don't need to fix every situation. You don't need to hold on to what is hurting you. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to let go, trust Allah, and protect your heart, because your heart is an amana, and not everyone deserves access to it. My beloved brothers and sisters, be careful who you give your heart to. Not everyone who smiles with you is sincere with you. Think less about people and think more about your relationship with Allah. Because at the end of the day, people will come and go, but Allah will always remain. So free your heart today. Let go of what is draining you. Trust Allah fully and watch how your life becomes lighter, calmer, and more beautiful. May Allah protect our hearts, grant us peace, and make us among those who rely only on Him. Ameen.